I'm Miss Walters, and let's get started with our phonological awareness lesson. Remember that reading begins with what? That's right, your ears. Reading begins with your ears, so making sure that we hear those sounds will help us be better readers. So let's look at our rhyming. Remember yesterday we started playing the odd man out game. So we're going to look at these three pictures in the blue rectangle, and we're going to try to figure out which one of those words does not rhyme. So in this first picture we have 8. 8. In the second picture we have the word gate. 8 and gate, they rhyme. What about that last picture? Tree. 8, gate, tree. Uh-oh, A and E, those don't rhyme. So 8 and gate rhyme, but tree is that odd man out. It does not rhyme. Let's look at the yellow rectangle. Here we have pail. Remember I told you that was another name for bucket? So we have pail and key and nail. Let's look at how that works. Pail, key, and nail. Ale, those two rhyme, pail and ale, but do keys rhyme? Ale, E. That doesn't rhyme. That odd man out is our keys. Great job. And remember, we're going to talk about our syllables. Syllables are those parts of the word. And a syllable always has a vowel in each syllable. So we have a vowel sound always in each syllable. And we have two different types of syllables. We have jelly bean syllables. Those are the ones you can take in one bite. And then we have those elephant word syllables. We have to break that word down into smaller bites. So let's look at some of our one bite jelly bean words. We have the word phone. Phone. We can say that word in one bite. Over here we have cheese. We can say that one in one bite. Cheese. We have an egg. One bite. Egg. And we have bee. Again, one bite, bee. But let's look at these elephant words. Now we're going to have to break that word down into those smaller pieces, and it might take us 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 bites. Let's look at this first one. Tiger. How many bites do we have to say in that word? Tiger. That's right. We have to take 2 bites to say that word. Tiger. What about this one? Do you eat those for lunch sometimes, especially if you go to McDonald's? That's a hamburger. How many bites does it take to say the word hamburger? Let's try it. Hamburger. That took 3 bites to say the word hamburger. What about this one? Rocket. How many bites does it take to say the word rocket? Rocket. That's right, 2 bites. Rocket. Do you have those on a hot summer day? That's a popsicle. How many bites does it take to say the word popsicle? Let's try it. Popsicle. That takes 3 bites to say the word popsicle. So let's talk about breaking these words down. I have a word here for this picture. This picture is a computer. And we're going to break that down into syllables. We're going to break the word computer down into the smaller pieces. So let's try that. Computer. 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 We break that into 3 pieces. What about this? Do you play this game sometimes? That is soccer or soccer ball. So we can say soccer. How many bites do we have to make soccer? Let's break that down. Soccer. That takes 2 bites. We can break the word soccer down into 2 pieces. Soccer. What about this last one? Butterfly. How many pieces do we break the word butterfly down into? Let's try it. Butterfly. That's right. We're going to break that into 3 pieces. Butterfly. Breaking that word down into smaller pieces makes it easier for us to say the word, makes it easier for us to read the word, and it'll make it easier for you to spell that word. Now let's take those jelly bean words and let's look a little bit closer at the parts of the word. Remember, we've been working on this for the last few days, and we know that each part of these words, or each part of those syllables, even those elephant word syllables, are going to have an initial or beginning sound, a medial or a middle sound, and a final or ending sound. So let's look at this first picture. This is jam. What sound do we hear at the beginning of the word jam? J-am. What letter makes the j sound? Did you say J? That's correct. J begins the word jam. We hear the j sound at the beginning of the word jam. What about this next picture? Pig. What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word pig? P. What letter makes the p sound? That's correct. P. P begins the word pig. We hear the p sound at the beginning of the word pig. What about our hat? Hat. What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word hat? What letter makes the sound? That's correct. H begins the word hat. We hear the sound at the beginning of the word hat. In our last picture, jet. What sound do you hear at the beginning of the word jet? J. What letter makes the j sound? That's correct. J. J begins the word jet. We hear the j sound at the beginning of the word jet. Let's look at the middle part of our word. Now remember, we've been talking about this. In the middle of our syllables, we have a vowel sound. So we're going to hear a vowel sound at the middle of each one of these words. Let's look at jam. What sound do we hear at the middle of the word jam? J, a, m. What letter makes the word or makes the sound a in the middle of the word jam? Did you say A? That's correct. A says a, and we hear that in the middle of the word jam. What about pig? P-I-G. I. What letter makes the sound we hear in the middle of the word pig? Did you say I? That's correct. I is the sound we hear in the middle of the word pig. It says I. What about hat? What sound do we hear in the middle of the word hat? At. Hat. Did you say A? What sound does A make? Ah. That's correct. We hear the ah sound in the middle of the word hat. So we would write that with an A. What about jet? What sound do you hear at the middle of the word jet? J, e, t, jet. Did you say E? That's correct. The E sound says at the middle of the word et. Now, sometimes boys and girls it can be a little tricky when we hear the I sound and the eh sound. But when you make the eh sound and you put your fingers right here at your mouth and you smile, you're going to smile and say eh. So whenever you make the eh sound, your lips and your mouth is going to go out and it's going to go eh. When you make the I sound, sometimes your lip might go up, and if you're like Miss Walters, your nose might go up. It's sort of like a pig. So we say I, and our nose kind of goes up like a pig nose. And we say eh, and our mouth goes out for eh, I. So that's how you can remember the difference between those two vowel sounds. Let's look at the final sound for our words. What sound do you hear at the end of the word jam? J, a, m. What letter makes the sound? Did you say M? That's correct. We hear the sound at the end of the word jam, and we put an M there. What letter do we hear at the end of the word pig? The sound is G. What letter makes the G sound? Did you say G? That's correct. We would put a G at the end of the word pig. It says G. What about hat? What sound do you hear at the end of the word hat? T. What letter makes the T sound? Did you say T? That's correct. We would put a T at the end of the word hat. It says T. What about jet? What sound did you hear? Did you hear that T again? T. Jet. We would spell jet with the T at the end of the word, just like we did in hat. They both have that T sound at the end of the word. Now let's look at our language. Remember, yesterday we did opposite words. Today we are going to look at words that have the same meaning. So right here we have a funny face, and then we have these silly dancing bananas. Funny and silly have almost the same meaning. We could say they were similar. So they have similar meanings. Right here we have a little girl pulling another little girl on a sled, and then we have some people playing maybe playing tug of war. So pull and tug have almost the same meaning, so we would say they are synonyms. They are similar, pull and tug. Then we have this character shouting on a megaphone, and we have a little boy yelling. So shout and yell have similar meanings, or almost the same meaning, so they are synonyms. So those are words that have the same meaning. All right, did you tell your teacher a word that began with the R sound? Well, my friend over here said he thought of a word that began with the R sound. He said record. He also said record. Now, both of those words have the R sound at the beginning for R, just like the word rainbow. It says R at the beginning of that word. So, who has a word that begins like zip in zipper? What letter makes the Z sound? Did you think of a word that has the Z sound? I have a zebra. It makes the Z sound at the beginning of that word. Who has a word that begins like vest? Do you hear that sound? V. What word would begin with the V sound? I have a word, volcano. It has the V sound like in vest. Now it's your turn. Who has a word that begins like question? We're looking for the Q sound like in question. That's a tricky one. You really have to do some thinking about that one. See if you can find a word that has the qu sound, like in question. Make sure you tell your teacher tomorrow a word that has the qu sound, like in question. Great job today. You are really working hard, listening carefully to those sounds. You're going to be great readers. Until next time, see you later.